Hi, today we're gonna be going over bridge amplifier for endurance. So let's begin with the spawns. They can spawn all the way from there to all the way over there. And once they spawn, they're gonna come all the way over here, hit by all the sunwalls. And then there's a good combination of wall darts and dynamos in the whole tunnel. And then they come all the way over here to the amp. Now, to make them path that way, we're gonna need a bit of block off. So starting here, I'm using these edited floors and this layer of wall launchers just in case any of the hulls are trying to beat on these walls. Usually they don't do it, but if you're standing on that side of the map, sometimes they can do that. If you're standing on the AFK spot all the way there, you shouldn't have any trouble. But just in case you're moving around at some point, I keep this here for safety. Then one layer of ramps or edited pyramids and another layer of edited floors all the way there. Another layer of walls. Then one layer of floors and ramps here with walls surrounding. Then here there's another floors. You can see that they are acting as block up. Let's engage. And pyramids on top. Then here just a bit more. As walls. Then for this side, just 2 floors, 2 walls, another wall here, wall here. These 2 are gonna have healing spikes, these ones. All that matters is that it has heals attached. These other perks don't matter too much, but I'm using these just to kill any cats that are trying to build here. And inside there, for those 2 floors, I'm using 2 healing gas traps with critical rating, double crit damage, and heals attached. Usually has don't come this way, but again, if you're standing on that side of the map while bridge is being attacked, some of the assassin hulls are gonna come here and try to break through this place. So it's again only for safety. Then here we have just one wall, and I put the healing wall launcher with those perks. Triple impact, double reload, and heals attached. This is just to prevent any flingers from coming all the way here and going up to start throwing at the amplifier. So just one wall is enough to prevent that. And then on this other side, the same thing. We have 2 walls, 2 floors, and 2 pyramids to block any flingers and lover from coming up here. These are 3 pieces for the same reason. Otherwise they can just come up here and start throwing. And then these other 2, again for the same reason, for flingers and lovers. Because they can just, when they spawn, they can come down here and run all the way up here through this ramp, up here, and start throwing from this side. So just those 2 walls are enough to prevent it. Once again, just in case I didn't show all the block off. Here I'm using just 1 pyramid and 1 floor. and another wall here. And that's just to block the first steps of the ramp to make them pass here and take more damage. The same on this side. Then here you can also use just 80 load walls instead of windows. Usually that's gonna be better for consistency from the wall darts, but just in case there's an explosion if the sunwells are running out. These ones are important that they're still standing, because if those walls break and these ones break too, some has or maybe flingers and lovers can just walk here and start throwing. But usually those should be fine. Then here at the end I'm just using the low ones. Again, all of these ones you can also just use edited windows instead, but I prefer the low ones for most places if I can do it. Just because it's easier for the warders to all shoot through there instead of through a window. And also all these extra roofs that don't have traps are only here just so flingers and lovers don't break through one wall and start throwing at the amplifier. Like this is just acting as a lover here. Even if they don't have any actual traps placed on them. Now for the trap perks, we can start with the wall launchers here at the spawn. Since these are at spawn, they can run out of durability, and I need them to last a bit, you know, just in case. So I'm using these ones with no impact, just 3 durability, double reload, and heals attached. But you can also use these ones if you want. Like if you don't have enough revert to craft another kind of launcher, you can use the triple impact ones. Then all the ceiling electric piers that are gonna be used in the tunnel are gonna be these ones. Critical rating, double crit damage, damage and durability. You can use either nature or energy. I'm using nature on all the traps in this build, just because nature and energy traps do the same damage to physical husk, but in case the waves 21 and 26 hit here, those are gonna be nature waves. I mean water waves. So we're using nature traps just to do extra damage to them, while energy would be doing less damage to elemental husk than the actual nature traps. So it's up to you if you want to use nature or energy, but nature is gonna be better in average. The same thing is gonna be for the wall dynamos. You can either use with nature or with energy. Again, nature is gonna be better in average, but you can also use the energy ones if you want. For these ones, at the beginning, I'm using just with a reload, crit rating, crit damage, and reload speed. And then closer to the end, we're gonna be using with double crit damage, crit rating, and damage. Also, you can, like in spots like this where there's 2 on the same tile, you can use one with double crit damage and one with reload speed instead, so they go off at different times. Then for the wall darts, it's gonna be the same I use on the other amplifiers: crit rating, double crit damage, damage and durability. We have a lot of wall darts, like on every tile they're gonna be hit by multiple wall darts. There. We also have one here that I didn't show at the beginning. There, shooting through the unedited window. We also have here just a bit of lockout that I forgot. This is just to make them path all the way here. We're using one wall demo inside, and here another one of the healing ceiling gas traps. This is because sometimes if you're standing to that side, blasters and other assassins are gonna be trying to break through here, and these two are gonna be enough to kill them before they can break anything. Then all these starting sound walls are gonna be all different reloads. Starting here, we can use one of these with 5 durability and 1 reload. Then all these 5 are gonna be one with 1 purple reload and 1 legendary. One's gonna be double legendary. One's gonna be with 1 gray reload. And then there's a blue one. And I don't have it crafted, but it's gonna be with 1 reload here. So it's all the different reload speeds, all the fastest ones, just to have more chances to remove the tanks from the propanes. Also, we're using 1 ceiling drop trap just for the same reason. I'm using one of these ones with crit rating, crit damage, and reload. This is only to push them down here and have more chances for all these soundwalls to reload and remove the propanes from them. Then all these other ceiling gas traps are gonna be crit rating, double crit damage, and effect duration. All the way up to here. Then the ceiling sappers, we're again using the crit build, damage, double crit damage, crit rating, and durability. You're using 2 here, and then 3 just to finish the tunnel. Again, all these ones of the dynamos at the end are gonna be with double crit damage. Those ones. Then for the frame grill, we're using crit rating, double crit damage, and effect duration. You can remove this one and replace it with another retractable if you want. And for the retractables, I'm using crit rating, double crit damage, and durability. Before the update, I used to have freezes here, like more freeze traps. But since the huts aren't gonna be frozen, only smashers, I'm testing it with retractables instead, just in case the traps are running out because of random waves. So any huts that make it to the end, they won't be frozen, and they're gonna be damaged instead. Then for the freeze traps, you can either use triple durability to read the effect duration, or you can use these ones with 1 impact instead. I'm using these ones just because it's this amplifier is gonna be hit on the highest wave on wave 30, so those ones are gonna need a bit more impact sometimes, especially smashers. So to have more chances to actually freeze them, I'm using the extra impact. And that should be it. Some of these ceiling electric fuels are gonna be optional because they don't really hit too often. Like these two are only gonna hit any huts that's standing on this half of the tile. Like if they are walking here, they won't be hit by those ceiling electric fields. Only when they're standing here, and that only happens when there's a smasher walking in the middle, or if there are multiple husks. They are gonna be like pushing each other, and they're gonna be hit by that. This one should be going off every time. And these two they won't be hitting often, only sometimes, so if you need the structures, you can also remove those two. Then this one should always hit, because this is the shortest path. So it's within the range, and that one too. Then for the 2 broadsides, since it's only for smashers, you can use damage, double crit damage and crit rating, just for any smasher that somehow survives the tunnel. Usually none of the smashers on weight 20 and 30 should survive, but sometimes on weight 26, some smashers can live, just because they are water smashers. So those are taking less damage from all the gas traps, from all the wall darts. Those are doing half of the damage because they are elemental. So in case those survive, we're gonna be using a Smasher Bridge. This is mainly for mini bosses, but it works also for smashers, just in case on weight 26 one of the smashers survives. So the way this works, we have a ramp here, just at the bottom. Then one edited. Then smasher should see those walls and charge from here. Sometimes the smasher bugs, actually instead of charging from this distance, it wants to walk here and starts punching here instead of charging. So for those cases, I'm using one wall like here. I'm using with triple impact, double reload, and effect duration. And this one should knock the smasher down here. And it has to walk all the way here. And once it gets here, there's chances that it's not gonna be bugged anymore and start actually charging. And I'm editing that wall here just to make them path closer to the edge and actually get pushed. Then all this here is just protection from the meteors, because this amplifier is gonna be hit by the meteors from a wargame. So it's just to protect them, and so the bridge doesn't get broken, and we're using one layer of floors on top of it. And this one is gonna be held by one pillar here and another one here, just so there's even less chances for the protection to break. Then this is built by 2 low walls, then another 4 low wall, other 2 here, 1 floor. This is for the mini bosses. The way this works, the mini boss is gonna come here, stand still, and then it's gonna teleport. And when we place the floor here, it's gonna make the mini bosses teleport to this tile instead of any random place, because this one is closer to the amp. Sometimes they're gonna break one of these walls, and they're gonna fall without breaking anything else. Doesn't really matter. And I'm using another 2 pillars here, just in case the meteor lands somewhere, like there, and breaks the stair. This one is gonna still be holding the whole structure. Then 2 edited arches, and these other full arches. I'm also using these 2 tar pits to stop any smasher from charging, and maybe the bosses, if you want to, instead of making them do that, you can stop the mini bosses here and use something like the Scrapper Spear or the Seal Lancelot to push them in the lava. That's another option if you want. But if you don't see any smashers actually using these tar pits, you can replace them by other retractable floor spikes or maybe a flame drill, whichever you want. Then for the last trap perks, I'm using anti-airs on top just to prevent any meteors from damaging the build too much. Then another 4 up here. And those should be these perks. These ones. Double range, double reload, durability, and heals attached. You don't really need it, but just in case, you know, there's maybe a propane explosion or they didn't reload fast enough and a couple meteors damage the roof. It's good to have the heals. So again, that's pretty much it. It's a pretty simple build. You can see basically the pathing by the anti-airs, since I'm using them just to protect mostly the tiles with the gas traps. Not much can go wrong with the build. Only weight 26 might be an issue, that's why we're using nature traps instead of energy. Just to do an extra 25% damage to the water husk, instead of like that's compared to the energy traps. But all the other ways should be fine. The only other thing could be durability on the sound walls. If those start to run out, you can have some explosions at some point. But you shouldn't have any troubles. Usually all my smashers die around here, even on white 30. And mostly on white 26 should be the same, but with the smasher bridge you should be fine, no issues. If you're worried about the white 30, for example, or white 26, you can just place your base somewhere here, like here or here, and it covers all the tiles with damage traps. So if you have the supercharged timber, and you should be fine. Nothing should be able to escape. Only the miniboss is on way 30. So yeah, that's all. Good luck building, and see you on the next video.